Welcome to our channel Valuable Coins All World. In this video, I gave you information about United States of America Washington quarter dollar, which are most valuable and rare. If you interested, please see this full video. Thanks. Top 1. When you hear the word penny, your mind might instantly think of something ordinary, small, maybe even insignificant. But what if I told you that a simple penny, yes, just 1 cent, could be hiding an extraordinary story and an even more unbelievable value? Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic and fascinating coins in American numismatic history, the 1936 Lincoln Wheat penny. This isn't just another coin in your jar. It's a symbol of a bygone era, a cherished collectible, and in rare cases, an extremely valuable treasure. The Lincoln Wheat penny, often referred to by collectors simply as the wheat cent, holds a special place in American coinage. First minted in 1909, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, President Abraham Lincoln, on the obverse side. That change marked a turning point in U.S. currency. Until then, American coins mostly featured symbolic images, but the Lincoln cent introduced a personal and historical element that Americans connected with. The design was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VB, appear on some early issues of the coin. His portrait of Lincoln has stood the test of time and continues to appear on pennies even today, more than a century later. On the reverse side of the 1936 Lincoln Wheat penny, you'll find two stalks of wheat curving along the edges, framing the bold words 1 cent and United States of America. Above that is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum. These wheat stalks gave the coin its nickname, the wheat penny, and represented agricultural prosperity, an important symbol during the early 20th century. Especially in the wake of the Great Depression. 1936 was a notable year for several reasons. America was still grappling with the effects of the Great Depression. Franklin D. Roosevelt was in the White House, and the country was inching toward recovery through programs like the New Deal. During that same year, the U.S. Mint produced the Lincoln Wheat penny in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Each mint had its own production figures and unique characteristics. In total, over 379 million Lincoln Wheat pennies were minted in 1936, but not all of them are created equal. Some were struck with rare errors, others with variations that make them stand out significantly in the world of coin collecting. One of the most famous and sought-after varieties of the 1936 wheat penny is the double die obverse. This error occurs when the coin is struck by a die that had been imprinted twice, but slightly off alignment, causing a doubling of the image. With the double die error, features such as the date, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust" appear noticeably doubled. These coins are incredibly valuable, especially when preserved in high grades. Collectors also pay close attention to the condition of the coin. A circulated 1936 penny might only be worth a few dollars, but when in uncirculated condition, especially with a unique error, can be worth thousands. To determine a coin's condition, collectors use the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS 65 or higher is considered gem quality, and coins that receive such grades are rare and highly prized. Aside from the famous doubling errors, some 1936 pennies were struck on defective planchets, had off-center strikes, or even had partial collars. These minting anomalies contribute significantly to a coin's value. It's these tiny imperfections that make some coins more desirable than others. What the mint may have seen as a flaw, collectors see as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The Philadelphia Mint, which didn't place a mint mark on its coins, produced the largest number of 1936 pennies. However, even among these, some specimens have sold for surprising amounts due to their condition or errors. The Denver and San Francisco mint versions tend to be scarcer in higher grades, and collectors often pay more for well-preserved examples from these locations. What makes the 1936 penny even more interesting is its accessibility. Millions of them are still out there, in drawers, boxes, coin jars, and collections. Anyone could unknowingly be holding a valuable one. People have found these coins at flea markets and family heirlooms, or inside old piggy banks. What may seem like a rusty old coin could actually be a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. That's part of what makes coin collecting so exciting. There's always the possibility of stumbling across a rare piece of history that's been overlooked for decades. Even if you're not a serious collector, examining your change or old family coins can be an adventure and a chance to touch a little piece of American history. The 1936 Lincoln Wheat penny isn't just a piece of copper. It's a relic from the past, a coin that traveled through time, touched countless lives, and still sparks curiosity nearly a century later. Its story is about more than just value. It's about resilience. It's about artistry. It's about how something so small can carry a legacy far greater than its size. As more people discover the joys of coin collecting, the demand for rare and historic coins like the 1936 penny continues to grow. And with that, the value of these coins climbs ever higher. So the next time you come across an old penny, don't dismiss it. Give it a second look. Check the date, inspect the condition, and you might just uncover something extraordinary. Because believe it or not, one single 1936 Lincoln Wheat penny, featuring a rare double-die obverse and graded in exceptional mint state condition, was once sold to an enthusiastic collector for a jaw-dropping total of $345,000. Top 2. When you hear about rare coins, your mind might instantly go to gold pieces, silver dollars, or ancient collectibles. But what if I told you that one of the most incredible coins to ever grace American history is none other than a humble, copper-colored penny? Yes, the Lincoln Wheat penny from the year 1941 is more than just a small, worn coin buried in the back of an old drawer. It's a piece of American legacy, and in rare cases, it's worth more than a luxury car or even a house. The story of the Lincoln Wheat penny begins in 1909, when the United States Mint made a bold decision to place the face of President Abraham Lincoln on the 1-cent coin. This made the penny the first circulating American coin to feature a real historical figure. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent quickly became one of the most beloved and enduring designs in U.S. coinage history. His initials, VDB, can still be found on certain issues of the penny. On the reverse of the coin, from 1909 to 1958, two stylized wheat stalks framed the denomination, 1 cent, and the inscription, United States of America. These wheat ears gave the coin its famous nickname, the Wheat Penny. Above the wheat design sits the motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. It's a phrase that speaks to the unity of the United States, and on this coin, it adds another layer of historical depth. Now, let's jump forward to 1941. The world was in turmoil. World War II had engulfed Europe, and while the U.S. hadn't yet entered the war, the country was preparing for its inevitable involvement. That same year, the U.S. Mint continued its production of the Lincoln Wheat penny. More than 887 million Lincoln cents were produced in 1941, more than in any previous year. They were struck in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, with a D mint mark, and San Francisco, with an S mint mark. Because of the high mintage, many people assume that the 1941 penny is common and therefore not valuable. And in general, that assumption is correct. Unless you know what to look for, that's where things get interesting. Among those hundreds of millions of coins, a handful contain unique mint errors, die varieties, and rare qualities that turn them into ultra-valuable collector's items. One of the most well-known varieties is the 1941 double die obverse. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a slightly misaligned duplicate impression, creating a doubling effect on the coin's design. On these double die examples, the doubling is most visible in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1941. If you happen to find one of these, you're holding something truly special. Then there are coins with off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and repunched mint marks. These types of errors happen during the fast-paced production of coins in the early 1940s and are extremely sought after today. Even coins without errors can be valuable if they're in exceptional condition. Coins are graded using the Sheldon scale, which ranges from poor, 1, all the way to mint state, 70. A coin that earns a grade of MS, 65 or higher is considered gem quality. These high-grade coins are difficult to find, especially for older dates like 1941. Most of the pennies from that era were used heavily in circulation, accumulating scratches, wear, and fading over time. But imagine finding a 1941 penny in uncirculated condition, still crisp, with all the original luster. That kind of find is like discovering a piece of frozen time, preserved for over 80 years. Some collectors go their entire lives without laying eyes on a pristine 1941 Lincoln cent. And that rarity is exactly what drives up the value when one does appear. Another factor in a coin's worth is provenance, its ownership history, and how it has been preserved. Coins with a well-documented background, especially those that were part of historic collections, are often appraised at a premium. Collectors also seek out full, red coins, pennies that still have their full, original copper red coloration. Over time, most copper coins turn brown. A 1941 penny that still shines red is incredibly rare. Auction houses across the country have seen record-breaking sales for Lincoln wheat pennies over the years. These sales are often driven by fierce bidding wars between passionate collectors. Sometimes, it's not just about the coin. It's about owning a story, a piece of American history, a relic from a time when the world was changing and every cent mattered. The 1941 penny represents a nation on the brink of war, yet still rooted in its principles. It circulated through grocery stores, farms, train stations, and movie theaters, before becoming a sought-after collectible decades later. Even if you're not a collector, there's something undeniably thrilling about the idea that a tiny, forgotten coin might be worth a small fortune. So what should you do if you think you have a 1941 penny worth money? First, examine it under a magnifying glass. Look for signs of doubling, clarity in the strike, and overall condition. Then, consider getting it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. It's also smart to join coin forums or visit a local coin dealer. Sometimes, a trained eye can spot details that the average person might miss. That you'd be surprised how many people have found rare coins tucked away in boxes, old jars, or inherited collections. Your grandparents' coin collection might just hold a treasure you never expected. So, the next time you come across a penny from 1941, don't pass it off as pocket change. Look closely. You could be holding a hidden gem, one with history, mystery, and potentially massive value. Because one of these rare, flawless 1941 Lincoln wheat pennies, featuring a dramatic double die and graded in near-perfect condition, was once sold at auction for a mind-blowing total of $335,000. Top 3. The Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most iconic coins in American history. It's small, simple, and seemingly ordinary. But beneath its humble copper surface lies a story that stretches across generations, filled with patriotism, resilience, and remarkable value. Today, we're taking a close look at one very special year in this coin's long journey, 1945. This wasn't just any year, it was the final year of World War II. And the pennies minted during that time carry the spirit of a country on the verge of peace. In 1945, Americans were celebrating the end of one of the darkest chapters in history. The war had claimed millions of lives and reshaped the world. Yet, through all the hardship, everyday items like coins continued to circulate, silently witnessing these massive historical moments. Among those items was the Lincoln wheat penny, small but mighty. It was in every pocket, every cash register, and every ration envelope. And today, collectors all over the world treasure this coin for what it represents. The 1945 Lincoln penny features the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. His steady gaze reminds us of strength, unity, and a nation striving to uphold its values even in the most trying times. Designed by Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's portrait has appeared on the 1-cent coin since 1909. The coin was released to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it became an instant favorite with the American public. The reverse of the 1945 penny showcases 2 wheat ears on either side of the words 1 cent and United States of America. These wheat stalks symbolized agricultural prosperity and framed the denomination in a way that was simple yet powerful. Above the wheat stalks sits the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. That message of unity echoed throughout the nation, especially in a year when unity was desperately needed. The U.S. Mint produced Lincoln pennies at 3 locations in 1945: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. Each mint struck hundreds of millions of coins, totaling over 1.4 billion combined. Because of this massive mintage, most 1945 pennies are considered common, especially in circulated condition. But among the billions, a few stand out as rare, mysterious, and extremely valuable. What makes a 1945 penny special? It comes down to a mix of factors: condition, minting errors, composition, and uniqueness. These ingredients can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. That let's talk about minting errors. Coins with doubling on the obverse, misaligned dies, or off-center strikes often become the most valuable. These mint mistakes are rare and happen during high-speed production at the mint point. One of the most famous errors found in the 1945 penny series is the double die obverse. This means certain details like the date, liberty, and in God we trust appear twice, slightly offset. These double impressions are unmistakable and incredibly prized. Another thing collectors seek out is the coin's color. Pennies can be categorized as red, red-brown, or brown. A full red coin, still gleaming like the day it was struck, is the most desirable and valuable. Over time, copper oxidizes and darkens, so finding a 1945 Lincoln penny in brilliant red condition is extremely rare. Such coins are often stored untouched for decades and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. Coin grading plays a critical role in determining value. The Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70, measures a coin's condition. A grade of MS, 65 or higher signals an uncirculated, gem-quality coin, one that can fetch thousands of dollars or more. But it's not just about numbers. The story behind the coin, the context in which it was created, and its journey through time all add to its worth. Every nick, scratch, or shine holds a memory of America in 1945. Imagine a coin that passed through the hands of a soldier returning home, a child buying candy with their ration card, or a factory worker building airplanes for the war effort. That's the magic that collectors chase when they seek the perfect coin. Then there's the allure of the unknown. Many people have found rare and valuable coins in pocket change, piggy banks, or old family boxes. What seems like an everyday object can turn out to be a national treasure. That's the thrill of coin hunting. You never know what history lies beneath the copper. And in the case of the 1945 penny, that history is rich, layered, and still unfolding. Rare 1945 pennies with dramatic mint errors or in pristine red uncirculated condition have been discovered in surprising places. Garage sales, estate sales, even hidden in books passed down through generations. Coin collectors around the world constantly search auctions, shows, and websites hoping to get their hands on these rare examples. And when one is found, it can send shockwaves through the numismatic community. Many of these rare coins come with authentication papers and are encased in tamper-proof holders to preserve their condition. This ensures they maintain their value and are protected for future generations. Some collectors acquire rare pennies not just for the thrill, but also as an investment. Over time, the value of rare coins, especially those with historical significance, tends to rise steadily. The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny stands as a symbol of America's strength, perseverance, and enduring spirit. It's a coin that reminds us that even in times of darkness, small things carry great meaning. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just getting started, the 1945 penny is one to watch. It tells a story that deserves to be remembered and possibly held in your hand, because one exceptional 1945 Lincoln wheat penny, preserved in near-perfect mint state condition and featuring a rare double die obverse, was once sold to an ecstatic collector for a stunning total of $305,000. Top 4. Coins are more than just metal objects we use to buy things. They are time machines, carrying with them stories from the past. Each coin has a tale to tell, and some tell stories so fascinating that collectors spend their lives chasing them. One such coin is the Lincoln wheat penny from the year 1949. The Lincoln wheat penny has long been a favorite among coin collectors. Its elegant design, historical significance, and surprising rarity in certain years make it a prime target for both beginner and advanced collectors. But the 1949 edition has a unique charm that sets it apart. This was a coin born in a year of transformation. The world was recovering from the impact of World War II, and the United States was stepping into a new role as a global superpower. Amid all of this change, the humble penny continued to be a vital part of everyday life. In 1949, America was hopeful. Soldiers had returned, industries were booming, and people were rebuilding their lives. The Lincoln wheat penny that circulated during this year became a silent witness to this era of optimism and growth. The obverse of the coin features the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, America's 16th president. His gaze is firm and steady, a reminder of leadership during hard times and the preservation of a united nation. Designed by Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's image has remained largely unchanged since it first appeared in 1909. Brenner's initials, VDB, can be found on the reverse side of some earlier versions, but by 1949, they were no longer prominently featured on the reverse side. You'll find two graceful wheat stalks curving along the edges of the coin, symbolizing prosperity and abundance. Between them, bold text reads 1 cent and United States of America, reminding everyone of the coin's humble but crucial value. Above those words is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one. This message of unity was especially meaningful in 1949 as Americans worked together to rebuild and shape the future. There were three U.S. mints responsible for producing the 1949 Lincoln penny: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint's coins have no mint mark, while Denver and San Francisco used the D and S marks respectively, found just below the date. Each mint struck millions of coins, making the 1949 penny relatively common in circulated condition. But don't let that fool you. Hidden among the masses are some very special and valuable specimens. What makes a 1949 penny stand out in value? It's a combination of condition, rarity, minting errors, and historical appeal. Coins that score high on all four are incredibly rare and worth a small fortune. Collectors treasure coins in pristine condition, especially those that have maintained their original luster. These coins, often graded MS 65 or higher, are nearly flawless and look as if they were minted yesterday. Color also plays a role in value. Copper coins like the 1949 penny can age differently based on how they were stored. Red pennies, which have not oxidized much, are more valuable than those that have turned brown or red-brown over time. Then there's the exciting world of mint errors. Double die strikes, off-center impressions, and die cracks can turn an ordinary penny into a prized collector's item. Some 1949 pennies have even been found with subtle doubling on the date or lettering. Error coins are usually the result of mechanical malfunctions during the minting process. These small mistakes are rare and often escape detection, making them highly sought after when discovered by sharp-eyed collectors. Some rare 1949 pennies also show repunched mint marks, where the mint mark was stamped more than once in slightly different positions. These variations may be minor, but to collectors, they can mean thousands of dollars in added value. But how does one find these special coins? You might be surprised to learn that many valuable 1949 Lincoln pennies have been discovered in old piggy banks, jars in grandma's attic, or tucked away in coin albums forgotten for decades. That a keen eye, a little patience, and some basic knowledge about what to look for can make all the difference. For coin hunters, there's no thrill quite like finding a small copper coin that turns out to be a jackpot. To confirm a penny's rarity and value, collectors turn to professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. These organizations evaluate a coin's authenticity, condition, and grade, and provide a secure holder to preserve it for generations. Once graded, the value of a 1949 penny can soar. Some have gone on to sell in prestigious auctions, drawing the attention of serious collectors, investors, and even museums. Coin collecting is more than just a hobby. It's a way to preserve history. Each coin connects us to a specific time, place, and story. The 1949 Lincoln Wheat penny is one of those special coins that embodies the spirit of a changing America. Whether you're a lifelong collector or just starting out, this coin is one to watch for. It's affordable in common condition, but rare versions can hold tremendous value. And it's those rare coins that make headlines and spark dreams. Even now, in the digital age, physical coins like the 1949 penny remind us of the tangible roots of our economy and culture. Holding one is like holding a piece of history in the palm of your hand. And just when you think you've seen it all, a coin like this surprises everyone. A near-perfect 1949 Lincoln Wheat penny, with a mint error and flawless red luster, was sold in a major auction for an astounding amount of money. That one tiny coin, made from humble copper and nearly forgotten in circulation, ended up being worth an incredible total of $285,000. Top 5. Every coin has a past. A tiny round piece of metal, yes, but it carries the weight of history, culture, and unexpected stories. One such coin that has caught the attention of collectors around the world is the Lincoln Wheat penny from the year 1953. At first glance, the 1953 Lincoln penny might seem ordinary. After all, it's just 1 cent. But beneath its copper surface lies a fascinating journey through post-war America, numismatic evolution, and a world of rare minting surprises. The Lincoln Wheat penny had already been in circulation for over 4 decades by 1953. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person on its face. The obverse side proudly displays Lincoln's portrait facing right, with the word Liberty to the left and the date 1953 to the right. Above his head reads the motto, "In God We Trust," anchoring the coin in tradition and national identity. The reverse side of the coin is equally iconic. Two stalks of wheat curve along the left and right edges, surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design, created by Victor David Brenner, earned the coin the nickname Wheat Penny. By 1953, America was in a state of transformation. The Korean War had recently ended. Dwight D. Eisenhower was in the White House, and the nation was experiencing rapid economic growth. The humble penny witnessed these shifts from millions of pockets and purses. In that year, the U.S. Mint struck Lincoln Wheat pennies at 3 different facilities: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked D; and San Francisco, marked S. Each mint produced millions, but some special editions still stand out. The Philadelphia Mint, being the main production hub, made the highest number of 1953 pennies. These coins lack a mint mark and are generally more common, but their condition still determines their value to collectors. The Denver Mint produced 1953 D Lincoln pennies, which are fairly easy to find. However, exceptional specimens, those with a perfect strike and brilliant red color, are much rarer and highly coveted. San Francisco's contribution was the 1953 S penny. Coins from this mint are known for their unique finish and small production quirks, which makes them especially appealing to specialists in wheat pennies. Over time, collectors have discovered several minting varieties and errors among 1953 pennies. These small mistakes, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks, can elevate a coin's worth from modest to monumental. One such example is the 1953 doubled die obverse, where the lettering appears slightly doubled due to a die error. Coins with this feature are few and far between, making them rare finds in the numismatic world. Another variation comes in the form of repunched mint marks. In some cases, the mint mark on 1953 D or 1953 S pennies was struck more than once, causing a blurry or layered appearance. These are not just fun to look at, they're extremely valuable. Collectors also pay close attention to the coin's color. Lincoln cents are made mostly of copper, and depending on their storage, they can turn red, red-brown, or brown over time. Red pennies in uncirculated condition are by far the most desirable. The grading scale also plays a crucial role. Coins graded MS 65 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC are considered near perfect. These grades ensure the coin has full details, original luster, and no visible wear. While millions of 1953 pennies were made, finding one in such pristine condition is incredibly difficult. Most were heavily circulated, scratched, or stored improperly, meaning only a handful remain in high grade today. The beauty of collecting pennies like the 1953 Lincoln Wheat cent lies in their accessibility. You could start by searching old jars, coin rolls from the bank, or even your grandparents' coin collection. You never know what you might stumble upon. Some collectors specifically hunt for mint sets and uncirculated rolls. These coins often yield better examples, especially those that have been protected from air and moisture for decades. It's important to remember that coin collecting is not just about value, it's about history. Each coin tells a story. A 1953 penny may have sat in a child's lunchbox, traveled cross-country, or been part of a soldier's loose change overseas. The 1953 Lincoln penny also represents the end of an era. Just a few years later, the design of the reverse would change from the classic wheat stalks to the Lincoln Memorial, forever altering the look of the beloved 1-cent coin. Many collectors argue that wheat pennies have more personality than their modern counterparts. Their slight imperfections, old-world charm, and simple design reflect a different time in American history, and while some people disregard pennies as worthless or annoying, those who know better understand that a single penny could be a priceless treasure hiding in plain sight. There are entire communities of coin collectors dedicated to wheat pennies, and the 1953 edition is always a topic of discussion. Online forums, auction houses, and numismatic clubs frequently highlight newly discovered high-value examples. Some collectors keep their 1953 pennies as heirlooms, passing them down through generations. For them, the value is sentimental and historical, not just monetary. But for others, especially investors and serious collectors, the value is very real and measurable. Rare coins like these regularly break records at auction and become highlights in private collections. When all the factors align, mint condition, color, rarity, and historical context, the result is a coin of tremendous value and intrigue. And that's exactly what happened with a particularly pristine 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny. This one coin, struck with perfection, preserved with care, and marked by a rare minting anomaly, stunned the collecting world when it sold at a major numismatic event for an astonishing sum of $245,000.